Hello, today I would like to start a series about the SQL. As you can see on the screen, I chose PostgreSQL. It is of course object relational database and also it is open source. So let's start and download the PostgreSQL database first. We are on the official PostgreSQL site and over here we have the download button, so let's click it. Over here we have the list of the different OSs we can choose, and in our case it will be Windows. Now we have to click the hyperlink, download the installer, and over here we have to choose the version. So let's get the latest one, and also let's choose the operating system, so this will be the Windows 64-bit. And now we have to click the download now button, and after the moment the window appears and we are saving the file on our disk, and it waits like 150 megabytes, so we have to wait a few minutes. Downloading has been finished, so let's go and run it. We open the folder, we have the confirmation, and the installer should appear. Okay, here it is. Over here we have to click next, of course. Here we can choose the location. I will leave it default. Over here we can choose what we want to install. And of course we want the PostgreSQL server. Also we want the PG admin because it allows us to manage our server and also the database. And the stack builder, we don't need it right now, but we will leave it. And it allows us to install some additional plugins and also the command line tools. Okay, so we are clicking next, and here we can choose the location where we want to store our data. We will leave it as follows. And now we have to provide the password for our super user, and the super user is Postgres. As long as it is a local database, you can type over here something really easy to remember. And after this, we clicking next. Over here, we can change the port of the database server. I will leave it default and next. Over here, we have to choose the language. We of course want English. So let's find it. We'll pick the United States. Okay, next. And in this view, we have the summary of the installation. And after clicking next, and another one, the installation begins. So I will stop the video and start when it will be finished. Okay, the installation has been finished. Here we want to untick this one option because we don't want this and don't need this right now, and let's click finish. Now we have to navigate to the installation folder of our database, and over here we have to pick the PG admin, and we have to go to the bin folder, and over here we have PG admin for exe, and also you can create the shortcut and place it somewhere if you want to. So let's run it. And after a second, it is now available over here. It should open, but I'm using different browser by default. That is what I pasted here. And this is our PG admin. So this site basically allows us to manage our entire database server. It's really similar to the phpMyAdmin, but this is for Postgres. Now let's go and log into our database. So we have to click this plus over here and click our default database, default server, sorry. And here we have provided the password we typed during the installation. Okay, and here we are. So for now, we have the one server and the name of this server is PostgreSQL 10. Inside our server we have the databases, so let's open it. And for now we have only one database that is called Postgres. Let's create a new database. So we right click on the databases, create database. And here we have to pass the name of our database. Let's call it university. Okay, and let's check other tabs. Definition, security, parameter. Okay, and this is the example of the SQL which will be executed when we click save. So let's save it. And here appears our university database. Inside our database we have something that is called schemas. And the schema is basically a group of tables related to each other. We have the default one called public over here. So let's create a new schema. So we right click on the schemas, create schema. Now we have to give our schema a name. So let's call it community. Like this. Owner is the Postgres, so the admin user. Let's check the SQL for this. It's pretty simple, and now we can hit save. And here comes our schema. So far so good. Now we can go to our schema, expand it, and over here we can create new table. So let's right click, create, and select the table. Okay. First thing we have to provide is the name of the table. So let's name it students. Okay, now let's go to the columns. Over here, to add a new column, we have to hit this plus button over here, and the new row appears. First one we will name the ID, and it will be the type of numeric, and also it will have the length of 4. And also we will check the option of the primary key. Marking this column as the primary key means that the values of this column must be unique. Okay, now we can add another column. So we hit the plus button again, and this column will be the first name, and it will be the type of text. Okay, and we will add another one, and this will be last name. It will be also the text. And now we can check the SQL, and it looks something like this. And now we can hit the save button. As you can see, our table appeared over here. If we expand it, we can see that it has 3 columns, and it's the ID, first name, and also the last name. Under the columns, we have the constraints, and if we expand it over here, we have the primary key, which one we have on the ID column over here. Now let's go and add some records to our students table. And to do it, we have to right click on the table and select Query Tool. Over here, we can use some SQL. So let's add a record to our students table. To add new record to our table, we have to type insert into. Now we have to use the name of our schema, and it was the community. It's here. And now after the dot, we have to provide the name of our table. Our table is the students. Now we have to pass names of the columns between the parentheses. So it was ID, first name, and the last name. Now we have to use keyword values. And now between the parentheses we can pass actual values. So it will be 0001. And now apostrophe, and it will be John test. Like this. Now we have to execute our query. So to do it, we can hit F5 on the keyboard, or this button over here. And if you click it, we have the message that one row has been inserted in 94 milliseconds. Now let's comment out this query. I will hit Ctrl/. And now let's create the query which one will display rows from our students table. To do it, we have to type select keyword. Now we want to use the asterisk, which means everything, every column. Now we have to say from which table we want to select everything. And like in the insert statement, we have to provide the schema name and now the name of the table. Now we can execute it. So we hit F5. And as you can see over here is our table. And it has only one row, which one we have inserted over here. But now we are sure that our database is working. Okay, it's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short intro to the PostgreSQL. Remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.